this area forward, right? Who needs help in that area, and what goes wrong?
I'm happy when it goes up.
Skull it, right?
Pop my head up,
Slide over, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get it in the ear.
Yeah, that's me too.
Okay, that's a great point. Absolutely, you have more success in the range than the course. Sure, absolutely.
I don't get it to pop up.
Me
Don't
neither.
get it to pop up. Don't get it to
I
pop
have the
up.
same
Same.
issue.
Okay, that's the first thing that I'm going to cover then. How do we make the ball go in the air? There's only one thing that causes it to go in the air. We're going to start at the very fundamental
angle?
concept. It's the angle of the club. Okay? It's the only thing that helps the ball in the air. This is a common misconception because I see a lot of people trying to help the ball in the air, right? Which feels somewhat normal, right? Ball sitting on the ground. I gotta help this thing up into the air, right? Okay, so it's very normal reaction to do that. The problem is if you're gonna help something up, you have to functionally get below that thing, correct? I can help a volleyball up, right? Why? Because I got a lot of air underneath here, right? So I can bump the volleyball up. Why is helping a golf ball up not so easy as bumping a volleyball?
It's on the ground.
It's on the ground. There's grass down there, there's dirt down there, right? So if I try to help it up, which again means I have to get below the ball, I'm gonna hit grass. That wasn't that bad. Try to do that. Let me do that works. Hang on.
That works.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to help it up. Right? I mean, wouldn't you agree with my body language that I was trying to help it up in the air. But again, I skipped off the ground, I came into the ball. I met the ball not with the loft that we just talked about, but the front. How much loft is on this part of the club? 0. That's why all of a sudden that ball goes shooting across. And why does it go far? Because that's 0 degrees of loft. That's aiming this way, just that way. Right? It's like a driver. You functionally made your wedge into a driver. That doesn't sound like a good thing, right? So we need to deliver the angle. That's the idea. Now I'm going to talk about the angle in terms of sweet spot. So we need to deliver the sweet spot. The sweet spot is where the loft is, okay? So if I can just get the sweet spot, aim at the flag there, and deliver it to the back of the ball.
Oh, shit.
Got it.
I never miss. All I did was deliver the sweet spot, okay? I'm not trying to help it up or anything like that. I'm just trying to get this angle and trust that the angle will bump it up. So this is a 58-degree angle. That's how much loft I'm gonna get. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Very little body movement. And why is that? I let the club do the work, and if I'm taking a full swing, I'm trying to create power, right? I'm trying to create a lot of speed and power. So I need to move my body to create that level of power. When it comes to this, my focus isn't power, it's accuracy. Does that make sense? Right? So I don't need as much body movement to create that, okay? So number 1 is find the sweet spot. We can talk a little bit more about that. Number 2 is the speed at which I move the sweet spot, right? So that's how I know how far I'm gonna hit it. Just the speed at which I move the sweet spot. Have you guys ever heard that before? Okay? So basically I'm trying to get you guys to focus on the right part of the club, okay? Focus on the sweet spot. Deliver the sweet spot to the back of the ball. I'm gonna give you a little bit more information, okay? So again, the tendency is to help the ball up. It's actually more the opposite, actually to maybe even swing a little bit down towards the ball. And why is that? Well, here, let me get a little closer here. Everybody kind of look like focus down here. If I'm kind of like trying to help the ball, right? I'm brandishing this part of the club more often than not, right? So 0 degrees of loft, send it scorching across the ground. So what's the opposite of this? A little bit more this, right? See how I'm functionally trying to get that sweet spot. I want you thinking about that sweet spot. I want you to drive that sweet spot into the back of the ball. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so here I go. Okay, I'm thinking about that sweet spot. I want to drive it into the back of the ball. And then if we do that well, do you think should we brush the grass? Should we take a big divot? What do you guys think? brush. I don't want a divot. That's too dramatic. And that does happen. That's a common mistake. People are told to hit down. That's true, but how much down? Right? I think to most people this is down, like 45 degrees. We're not going 45 degrees. We're going a few degrees down, right? Enough in which we brush the grass. Okay, so it'll look like this. So again, I'm thinking about that sweet spot. I want to drive it into the back of the ball. Does it look like I'm trying to help the ball up in the air?
No.
No. Right, I'm just going to take that sweet spot and try to drive it into the back of the ball. Right? Not bad. And you can see those little bits of brushing. Stance. Good question. So, kind of going back to Kathy's question about how much body movement we have when we chip, I want it to be limited. Because again, I don't need a lot of power, right? This is a pretty long chip, right? You guys can do this just as well as I can, right? In terms of power generation, right? Just swinging the arms. So I want a petite stance. I use that word petite on purpose because I'm trying to give myself the right information, right? So if I set into this ball like this, what am I telling my body? I'm about to pounce on this thing, right? I'm about to crush it, and I'm probably going to find those windows over there, right? So instead, let me shrink that up and get real dainty with it, petite, right? And now I'm sending all the right signals to my head that I'm going to have a small shot. So the answer to your question is small stance and scoot up to it. It actually makes us a little bit more vertical with the club, because I'm going to make this really dramatic right now, but if we get down here like this and we're only working on rotation, it makes it very difficult to find the golf ball consistently. Again, rotation is power, is speed generation focused. We want that for the full swing. But right now, I actually want you guys to think about this like a putter. Like, look at how simple this is. Look, I can stand really close and go tick, tock, right? And hit that nice little shot, nice and accurate. Kind of like a putter. What's different?
Well, you got a bigger.
It's got an angle,
Okay.
right? But no, exactly. You guys were on the right path.
Yeah.
It's got an angle. But no one's scared of hitting the putter, right? You guys hit the sweet spot on your putter pretty often, I bet. Or at least close to it, right? But something in the wedge makes us, right? We want to help the ball. We want to do all these other things. I just want you to deliver it just like a putter, right? So take your mind out of it in that respect and just deliver the sweet spot. This sweet spot just so happens to have a lot of angle built in. Don't worry about that. That's going to take care of itself. Does that make sense? You can almost think about this like a putter. Like if I swung this putter right now, it would go on the ground, right? But because I'm trying to make one of these. Come on. But because this has angle, it went in the air. That's the only difference. That's it. It just has angle. If it was flat, it would have gone on the ground. If it was somewhere between flat and here, like let's say it was an 8-iron, what would it look like? 8-iron, 7-iron? It'd just be lower. It'd just be lower. And guess what? Maybe if you're in Scotland, that would be your shot of choice right here, right? Makes sense what we're trying to focus on? Okay? Last thing is, I like to say this, and I bet a lot of you guys have heard me say this before. You're just a delivery person. You're nothing more, right? Carol loves this. Okay? You're a delivery person. And what do I mean by that? We just talked about it. Is your job to take this sweet spot, right? It's actually right in the right location. You're going to take it back on a little journey, and you got to get it right back to where it started. And then we're going to brush the grass. That's how we know we got back to where we wanted to start. Does that make sense? I'm trying to simplify it so we're not thinking about all these crazy things. Think about what actually matters. Because guess what? If I am like Jim Furyk, you guys know what Jim Furyk's swing looks like? Right? I mean, I could chip like that. No, I can't. I'm just kidding. Well, I haven't practiced that enough, clearly. But technically, I could have a different route. If I got it back to the same spot every time, who cares? I'm not going to say that that's the easiest way to do it. I don't think it is. I kind of the concept of straight back, straight through is better, right? But do you understand the point? The point is not what you do; it's what you make happen down here. So, you are all wonderful delivery women who are going to deliver the sweet spot to the back of the ball, and the ball's going to go in the air automatically because you delivered it in the right location. And we're going to know we delivered it in the right location because we brushed the grass at and beyond the ball. If we brush the grass before the ball, something is wrong. If we brush it here, it's probably gonna rise into the ball, right? So we're a little off, and we got to try to move that forward. So we're about to do we're gonna partner up. We're gonna go all these spots. Our instructor's gonna come around and help you guys individually, because hey, maybe there's a flaw that's causing you to always deliver behind the ball, or always deliver into the ball, right, and not get down to the ground. So we're gonna work on those things, but I wanna build the focus for you guys. Deliver the sweet spot. How do you functionally do it, right? Golf is a funny game. If I gave you a basketball and said shoot at the hoop, you wouldn't be wondering about your elbow angle. You wouldn't probably be analyzing yourself if you missed. If you came up short, you'd throw it harder. If you threw it too far, you'd throw it lighter the next time. I want golf to be more like that for you guys. Does that make sense? More of an athletic endeavor, something you can kind of make your own and feel your way through, instead of like, oh, I need to go back to my book and read how to chip, right? Which helps, but we want it to be more natural.
So I have a question, and it has to do with your
Shoot.
grip.
Okay.
Mine has it where where you do the grip like that. And
Yep.
I find that if I check that before I go to do that, that it really kind of gets to the sweet spot. I can
Sure.
get to it.
Proper
better.
grip is
So-
really important. Different failures in the grip make it almost impossible to get to the sweet spot. And your grip should be the same for chipping
right.
as your full swing.
Yep.
Keep all that the same.
Yep.
So that'll be something that we check here in a moment.
Okay.
And if let's say some people that get really underneath their grip,
Yeah.
they can't help but hit behind.
Yeah.
Because it positions their arms and their body in a way that it makes that happen almost every time.
Yes.
Carol, remember when you had that grip way under there, right?
That was a toughie.
Yeah, it's a toughie, but no problem. So anyways, we're gonna talk more specifics, but we're gonna do it one by one. Does that make sense? This is more the group explanation of what are we gonna do? We're delivery people. What are you guys gonna deliver?
Sweet spot.
How are we gonna know we did it well? We're gonna brush the grass at and beyond the ball. Okay, cool. Let's do it.